I'm aware there are concerns of sound not being on, but I'm sure the management team is working around that to make sure that the sound is available. So please be calm. The sound will be with you in just a while. So please bear with the management team. The sound is going to be with you in just a while. That's the major concern coming through in the chat rooms. The issues about sound, but I'm sure you're able to hear me. The sound will be coming to you in just a while. I hope the organizers can be able to, our management team can be able to actually sort that particular issue out. Okay, I thank you very much.
Yes, good morning. We are still, yes, we have heard, we are still sorting out the video, and then we will be with you shortly. But all is being set and worked upon.
Thank you very much for that clarification. That's I'm sure settles people's minds down and makes them not write too much about the sound in the chat room. I appreciate once more.
Thank you. All right. Good morning. I hope you can hear me now very well.
Good morning, we can hear you.
Yes, my name is Sarah Bimbona, and I'm a facilitator on the course of entrepreneurship in the School of Business in the Department of Marketing and Management. I would like to welcome all of you, our dear students, to our second conference preceding the Entrepreneurship Expo. I would like to apologize for the delay because of the tech issues, but nonetheless, we are all here. And we thank God for the wonderful showers of blessings this morning. We have a quick program. I'll do the introduction. We do the remarks. Then we shall have the head of department coming to officially open up the webinar. Then we have our director for Entrepreneurship and Innovation Center, Dr. Kathy Mbide, coming in. And then we shall have our presenter, Mr. Ngabirano Dennis. And then, of course, we shall wrap up with the dean closing the webinar. Let me do some housekeeping issues here. One is that you as students are expected to have at least a notebook where you'll be noting whatever is going to take place. Remember, this is an assignment. This is a coursework where we expect you to produce a report at the end of the day. Now, how it works, if you have any question, we are going to request you to share that question in your respective WhatsApp groups. And then those the coordinators, we have coordinators in each group, and then the coordinators will pass on the questions to us. But I can see those who are logged in on Zoom, you are able to share some of the questions if they rise up along the way. But that is all that is required of you. Just be attentive, listen carefully. We shared a question or what we expected you to do. Write a report on what you have learned from the conference and submit a one-page report showing your program, your name, and registration number. This should be submitted before midnight of tonight, and you should submit it by email. You will submit to MAC, that is MAKEIC.BAMS@mac.sc.ug. That is where you ask all programs, both BCom, BDEC, BBA, BA Arts. I think that's all. So you are all supposed to be sharing your work on the same email, but you can also copy on MAC, that is makeic.bams@gmail.com. Thank you. So today we are privileged to have two wonderful presenters amidst us who are going to tell us, one, why are we doing this as entrepreneurship students or as entrepreneurship facilitators, but also what can you learn from the whole process, and where do we expect you to be in the next 1, 2, 3, or 5 years as students of entrepreneurship. So I would like to introduce one of the panelists, that is Dr. Kathy Mbide. Dr. Kathy Mbide holds a PhD in commerce, an MS in marketing, and a BBA degree. She's an entrepreneurial expert in training, mentoring, coaching, and research. She has gained over 16 years of experience through lecturing, consultancy, and research in the area of entrepreneurship. So she's one person who is going to give you a wealth knowledge. Kathy has worked with the public and the private sector, and also with the civil society organizations on different assignments. Currently, Kathy is the team leader. That's why she's the director of the Entrepreneurship and Innovation Center at Makerere University. I hope our students know where this is. She has researched widely in the area of female entrepreneurship, promoting students' entrepreneurship expo, students' youth entrepreneur potentials, and small and medium enterprises. Dr. Kathy is a certified International Labor Organization trainer for Start Your Own Business and a gender and entrepreneurship expertise altogether. So I would like to welcome Dr. Kathy as our director for the Entrepreneurship and Innovation Center. The other presenter we have is Mr. Dennis Ngabirano. This is the person who is going to give us a wealth of knowledge. He has experienced it and he has lived it. So we expect a lot in terms of learning from our dear presenter. So Mr. Ngabirano is a professional teacher. He'll tell us why he quit teaching to entrepreneurship. He has over 13 years of experience and he's a counseling psychologist by training. He's the CEO and the founder of Sam's Food Industries. I hope you have all had and enjoyed the snacks of Sam's. You know the gonja. Sam's Food Industries Limited and a private company that is committed to transforming primarily agriculture into delicious food products intended for both local and international markets. The company manufactures a range of products, mostly confectionaries and extruded snacks. These I can testify, I've enjoyed. It has created over 200 jobs from one person and for the youth in the last 11 years. Dennis is results-driven entrepreneur with over 11 years hands-on experience. I've told you he has lived it, and growing of small and medium enterprises. He has mastered the art of resource mobilization. Dennis will tell us that he started with a capital of 43,000 and he now has a multi-billion project or a company that he's running just in 11 years. So he has mobilized over 3,000% of what he has put into the company. He is an award winning of SELU Alumni Merit Award and a seasoned business mentor who has spoken to thousands of university graduates like you, what he's going to do today, and many youth in terms of business and entrepreneurship as a sure way of addressing unemployment and knowing that you can do entrepreneurship as a career. Please welcome Mr. Dennis Ngabirano. Before the guest speaker, or before our speakers come in, I would like to invite our head of department, Dr. Peter Turiakila, to come and officially open up the presentation, the webinar, and also make sure that you are all attentive, listening, you have your notepads to make sure that all goes well and you score 100% in your report submission this afternoon. Thank you and welcome, Doctor.
Thank you, Sarah, the organizer for the day. Our guest speaker, Mr. Dennis Ngabirano, our director, Makerere University Entrepreneurship and Innovation Center, the Dean School of Business, colleagues from Makerere University, organizers of this seminar, the potential entrepreneurs who are also students of Makerere University, particularly COBAMs, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Department of Marketing and Management, School of Business, COBAMs, and Makerere University, and on my own behalf, I take this opportunity to welcome you to this very, very important seminar where our young entrepreneurs are inspired to become real entrepreneurs in the near future. And therefore, it is my appeal that the young entrepreneurs pay a lot of attention listening to our experts. Ladies and gentlemen, we are all aware that this seminar is a precursor for our annual entrepreneurship students expo, which is slated for tomorrow and Wednesday at the university rugby grounds. The theme of this year's expo is youth entrepreneurship or entrepreneurial resilience. We should appreciate that entrepreneurship has the ability to improve standards of living and create wealth. It has the ability to drive innovation and creativity, but also to create job opportunities and social change in our society. Indeed, each year, thousands of new ventures are founded, yet many of them do not live to make it beyond their first couple of years in operations. Therefore, it is important to note that resilient entrepreneurs remain optimistic in the face of difficulties and hard conditions, and as far as determining their success and failure is concerned. And therefore, the theme for today is carefully chosen in that despite the difficult environment we are operating in, we need to be resilient. We need to be resilient so that we are able to make it beyond our dreams. I believe that by the end of this session, you will have acquired valuable tips on how to become resilient entrepreneurs. And on this note, allow me to declare this seminar officially open, and I wish you fruitful deliberations. I thank you very much.
Good morning, students. Now today is we start off with a youth entrepreneurial resilience seminar or workshop, and this is a follow-up regarding what we have been studying in class. So within the entrepreneurship course, our students basically are taught, went through the class, and the course is basically focusing on looking at students coming up with ideas that you turn into businesses. So this is a follow-up regarding on what we have learned in class. So the seminar mainly focuses on inspiring students, enabling us to see how we implement our ideas. So youth resilience is the ability for students or as individuals to adapt and overcome difficulties and challenges they face. We are all aware that we have been challenged due to the pandemic So here we are. So this year's theme is focused on how can youth or how can students, despite the challenges, despite the effects, cope up with stressful and adverse situations, relying on both internal and external factors. So those with resilient enterprises or businesses that will be able to showcase are enterprises or businesses that survive, adapt, and grow in times of change, given the adverse conditions. So this is to call upon all students, all youth, to continue being innovative, to continue being creative. However, this seminar brings on board an engagement of an expert who came up with, or who started a venture or an enterprise as a student. So he's going to share with us his walk of life in terms of business and how he has been able to overcome or build a multi-billion project. So we see the private sector coming on board. We see the university coming on board, working hand in hand with a number of networks tending to build an institution or an enterprise. So we urge all students who are basically online to listen attentively and then capture what will be required for you to be able to submit a report. However, as students get out of their business ideas or concepts, at the center of all this is the Makerere University Entrepreneurship and Innovation Center that will continuously back up and support your ideas even after this, after the expo. So we urge all students to follow up after the seminar, after the conference, after the seminar, to come and visit the offices at CTF, CTF2, room 4.2, for further support in terms of nurturing your ideas, in terms of incubating your ideas, in terms of placement of your ideas or linkages to those that are already established within your specific industries. Thank you so much. Now we are going to have our key guest, Mr. It's going to give Dennis Ndabirano, who was at one time a student, but now owns a multi-billion facility. Thank you so much.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen out there listening in. So we're still sorting out some technological issues here. Like I've been introduced in the beginning, My name is Dennis Ngabirano. I'm the CEO of Sam's Food Industries Limited. Sam's Food Industries Limited is located at Nansana along Hoima Road. Sam's is a snacks processing industry. I believe many of you out there have tasted our products on the market, or you have seen the product and you've not tasted the product, or you are about to taste the products that Sam's manufactures. I am privileged today to speak to students of Makerere University in the perspective of an entrepreneur whose entrepreneurship work has solely grown from a background of good education, good entrepreneurship education. So the story and the insights I'm going to share with you this morning are a reality. They are true insights that over the years, as a former student of entrepreneurship, I've been able to gain. Sam's Food Industries Limited began in a very humble style. So I believe I'm speaking to the best and the right audience, considering our topic today. We are focusing basically on two key areas. We are looking at the youth, and we are looking at growing and resilient entrepreneur. In Uganda today, 75% of the population is below the age of 30. And the Ugandan national unemployment rate today stands at 9.2%. While the unemployment rate of the youth between the age of 18 and 30 stands at 13.3%. 83.5% of the Uganda population aged between 15 and 29 years of age work in informal jobs. This therefore calls for collective responsibility for all stakeholders to analyze, appreciate, and adopt the potential of the youth in this segment. However, the youth have to be resilient in the new normal. So when you look at this image, When you look at this image down here, it is an image showing Dennis and the wife, Maureen, in the year 2010. So at this time, I was still energetic enough. It is a true reflection that the stories, the insights we are sharing this morning focus on the youthful age. So at that time, in such a working environment, a business idea was taking shape. So this is the kind of informal sector we are trying to portray. Resilience. To be a resilient youth, you must be able to understand what resilience implies. Resilience refers to rethinking the way you see setbacks. A shift from the negativity to positivity. It is a process of adopting well in the face of diversity. For those looking to start and growing a business, you need to be resilient. However, resilience is built. It takes a process. Resilience cannot happen overnight. Resilience does not happen immediately. You may encounter setbacks in the process of building resilience, but setbacks are inevitable and no one loves them. However, as a resilient entrepreneur, I have to look past the short term, but rather focus on the long-term mission. Entrepreneurial challenges today. Today, the youth are faced with a number of challenges, ranging from unemployment, high levels of poverty. We have the global pandemic at present, getting a business idea, and other lifestyle-related health challenges. But in the entrepreneurship perspective, challenges of youth quite differ from what I have mentioned. There is a challenge of market. There is a challenge of capital for startup. There would be a challenge of financial literacy because we don't all go to the same schools, and we've not gone to the same schools. Those of you have finished school, and our backgrounds are totally different. Social rejection, name it. How can you graduate? For example, the picture I've just shared on the screen a few minutes ago. Someone may ask, how can a graduate choose to roast ground nuts? Some people call them peanuts. How can a graduate choose to roast peanuts? How can a graduate choose to process crisps? How does a graduate choose to be a fruits vendor? So rejection is always associated with the dirty businesses that we tend to find ourselves, dirty in quotes, the so-called dirty businesses that we find ourselves trying out. When we look at resilience, one must be able to focus on where they want to go, on where you want to be. When you look at these images on the screen, this image shows the first factory setup for Sam's Food Industries Limited. With these rugs, someone may ask, is this a kennel for dogs? Is a gang of thieves sleeping in there? But it is the reality. So this was the first house. From the veranda, Sam's realized that the veranda was limiting growth. From the sigiri, the charcoal stove, it was limiting growth. And the landlord advised us to take out the business from the veranda to identify a better place outside the fence. And this is the only house that we could identify. I could identify in the neighborhood. So this house, I removed these rugs and fixed a wooden shutter. And that's where the business started. So when you look at the second picture, in the first picture, we could not comply. The business could not comply with the healthy standards and the food manufacturing standards. So we thought of improving. And when I asked the landlady here at stage 1 to grant me space so that I could dig a pit latrine and also manage the solid waste very well, the landlady in return served me with an eviction notice for 1 week. Now imagine when such an environment, but determined to win, I never gave up. Because I had tried the business idea and I had gone through what we call a proof of concept. Upon realizing that the business was a viable move, I said, let me look around. So when you look at the second picture, after getting evicted from the first one, the only option was to identify space in the neighborhood. And that's when these makeshift structures you can see could be set up. And you can see these structures are in a segmented form. It was not a one-day job. But it pains me that these structures today are only living in images, and how I wish they could have been preserved as preferably tourist attractions. So at this time, imagine a business evolving. When we refer to the setbacks, most entrepreneurs or the youth who want to start business front, and in particular, capital. We usually have great ideas. We usually think big. We usually dream big. Like one scholar stated it, that smaller pockets, big ideas. Now, when I look at this picture, it reminds me how at that time I chose to use bicycles as the first mode of product distribution, because I could not afford to buy a car. But the only option that was available and a cheap option was to use bicycles. I want to chip in a little bit of the story. How Sam's Food Industries started. Like I told you in the beginning, I was an entrepreneurship student. But the entrepreneurship course unit which I was taking, I was not doing actually, the course was not entrepreneurship. I was undertaking a course of counseling psychology, Bachelor of Counseling Psychology, Bachelor of Guidance and Counseling. But during the course of study, I encountered a course unit, Entrepreneurship Management, which was a compulsory course unit. And my lecturer at Central Lawrence University, Mrs. Irumba Letitia Nachimuri, tasked us as the whole class to prepare a business proposal. So the coursework which I undertook way back in 2019 is what has culminated into the SAMs of today. So the coursework seemed to be taken as a joke. But when I realized that my lecturer was getting serious, I chose to give it full attention. Now imagine, way back as a student and as a primary school teacher, I lived a very tough kind of working lifestyle. Because the course I was undertaking, I was basically upgrading. Because as teachers, most of the teachers usually start from lower levels. So I was upgrading. But imagine from class, after teaching, I would go to Owino Market, purchase the plantains, gonja, get on a border, find myself at the university. I leave my luggage at the gate with the gatekeeper. I go for lectures up to 10 p.m. I was an evening student. And after 10 p.m., I board back home to Nansana. And upon reaching home, I had an extra task. And this is when I usually challenge most of the youth who claim that time is a very big challenge. I want each one of you to clearly account for the 24 hours in a day. Because we assume that each one of you, or the recommended sleep time should be 6 to 8 hours. So what do you do in the remaining time? Imagine I'm a teacher teaching in a top city school, a business school. I was teaching at City Parents School for 12 years. In the evening, with the pressure, imagine in such a school. In the evening, I have lectures. After lecture, after school, I have to go and shop, source for the raw materials. After sourcing for the raw materials, I have to go for lectures. And after lectures, I had to go for the business. And I had a family. And you know, married people even have to spare time to produce babies. So I could multitask. So when you start lamenting out there that time is a very big challenge, I really pity those who claim that time is always against them. Now, the business idea I started with was on goat rearing. But when the lecturer kept insisting and threatening here and there that I am not going to award you marks, not until you submit the coursework, I realized that it was becoming very, very serious. So what I chose to do at that time, I went ahead and prepared a project on goat rearing. But I realized that the budget was big. And as a hustler, I couldn't give up. I chose to put 2 goats in the business plan. But along the way, another lecturer of mine called Mr. Karole Dan picked interest in what I was doing. So I shared with him the proposal. And the proposal seemed to be very interesting to him. So eventually, I asked Mr. Karole Dan to guide me on how best I could work on the numbers. But as a multitasker in my 3rd year, I wedded my long-term fiancé. And after the wedding, I realized that there was some small balance in terms of cash balance. So we chose to go for honeymoon in Mombasa, around Fort Jesus. So while straying, that's the common talk, while straying around, we happened to find a gentleman preparing snacks. raw matoke with a makeshift kind of setup with a charcoal stove, a vegetable slicer, and raw matoke and salt, maybe plus a little or two of cooking oil. So when I looked at the kind of innovation which that gentleman was exhibiting, I realized that it could be a cheaper idea for me to copy, but not to copy and paste, but I picked lessons, I benchmarked from that entrepreneur. So, and that's when I chose to test the product. The test didn't seem to come out well because, you know, raw matoke and salt, and we Ugandans who are used to eating sweet stuff. So I chose a new business idea was born. So this time around, I was like, why don't I use a related raw material, but a little bit much familiar with the consumers who are my targeted market. So this time around, I chose to pick up a related business model, but focusing on the use of semi-ripe sweet plantain. So when I returned, the following day, I had a lecture. I was very excited about the new idea. I went back and I consulted my lecturer. I told her, since you are really sounding very serious, I realized that I may not implement the first business idea of goat rearing because the budget is big. So when I shared the new idea with her, she gave me a green light and I did copy and paste. Where there was a goat, I would cut and put gonja. Where there was water, I would cut, put cooking oil. So in so doing, I came up with a new business plan with a very humble budget, modest budget of 43,000 Ugandan shillings, 43, an equivalent of 11 US dollars. Initially, I did test runs, trials. I did trials on the veranda using the available kitchen tools. There was a saucepan, there was a charcoal stove at home, there was a ladle. So I only bought packaging material, cooking oil 1 liter, charcoal, plus a few items, other items. And the first gonja I bought in Owino market was gonja worth 5,000 Ugandan shillings. 5,000. The second day, I bought gonja for 7,000 shillings. The third day, 9,000. So I kept growing. The first production was enjoyed by the neighbors. But the second day, I told them that now it is business unusual. You tested and you liked the product, so I want cash. So if you want to test, you have to pay. Now, the second day, I went back to Owino because the first production never survived. It could not close the gate to go to the intended customers, to the target group. So the second day, I bought gonja worth 7,000 shillings, but I was so selfish. I couldn't wait to earn the first, to make the first sale. I was even selfish to myself and to my partner, because I realized that we had started eating up the capital. We were eating the seed. So The second day, the production there were 12 packets of gonja. So I went with the 12 packets of gonja, and I asked for space, a business opportunity at the university canteen. The canteen attendant insisted on taking a sample. So I surrendered one packet and I remained with the 11 at 400 shillings each, and the first sale was 4,400 shillings. The second day, I doubled the third day, it was doubling production from 7,000 to 14,000 because the first customer purchased all the stock. The second day, production increased. And this time around, I placed 12 packets at the university canteen and 12 packets at the school canteen where I was teaching. Now, from one product, by the end of the year, I had generated new ideas. So I started supplying around the retail shops around in Asana with the other bicycle. This bicycle here, which you can see, was doing the distribution. But at that level, all the initial business processes were taking place on the veranda. You know, when you are in renting two rooms, one is a living room, the other one is a bedroom, and on the, around the shade area, there is usually a smaller kitchen. And that's where the business idea was taking shape. So I could afford to employ someone. This young man here would be paid 3,000 shillings a day plus lunch to vend the crisps around non-Sana retail shops. And within a few months, production had started growing. So the business evolved from one product to 2 products by the end of the year. And by the end of the second year, we're boosting with 5 products. 4 years later, I realized that the business was really taking too much of my time in terms of concentration. I could not concentrate in class to teach. And the business, which was still in its initial stages of growth, I realized that I never had time for the business. So what happened is that I chose to stop teaching. And when I stopped teaching, that was 4 years later, this was basically aimed at enabling me to concentrate on business growth and development. So since 2010, our product range has grown from 1 product to 20 products to date. Today, we boast of the best local content in terms of snacks. In the snacks business, we are boasting of the best local content. We are equally boasting as SAMS to be having the best distribution in the snacks industry. We offer the best distribution countrywide. We have grown a strong workforce over the years from a solo proprietor, because even it took me actually a while to convince my wife to join me. It took me some good days. But from a solo proprietor to a family business, and now to a community and a national project. In most cases, when business ideas are evolving, we are faced with a number of challenges. But the moment you get focused and know where you want to be in a given period of time, I strongly believe you can never remain the same. Today we have caused positive influence in the community. We are dealing with a number of cooperative societies that supply us with raw materials and a growing number of suppliers as well as service providers in the food value chain. We are a recognized taxpayer. Imagine from scratch. I must say, in the last financial year, Sam's Food Industries Limited was the best taxpayer in the whole of Nansana municipality. So look at what the informal sector can transform if we are to grow our economy. But the likes of Dennis Ngabiran and the family, as well as Sam's Food Industries Limited at large, cannot change the economy if we don't work with many of you entrepreneurs out there to make sure that we join efforts in liberating our motherland, Uganda. Today, Sam's products are supplied in the East African community as well as some COMESA member states. And we are still spreading our wings. Our products are certified by the Uganda National Bureau of Standards as well as the Halal Bureau of Standards. So issues of non-compliance in terms of taxation, in terms of quality are sorted, and we are aiming at ISO certification. We have built a stronger business focusing on core values: innovation, commitment, teamwork, and quality. Sam's has created over 200 direct jobs to the youth out there. And the oldest in our company is 40 years of age. So we are working with basically the youth like you out there who are listening in. Now, when I look at Sam's of 2010 and Sam's of today, it is totally a different story. It's totally a different story. Evolving from rags, from nothing, or from someone with nothing to someone with something. When I see entrepreneurship students coming to our factory, I really feel motivated. When I see the number of jobs that we are creating and the impact we are causing in the community, remaining relevant in your community and at the same time balancing your business interests is very, very important. We are aware, and I am strongly aware as an entrepreneur who has gone through this, that there are quite a number of challenges that are associated with starting small. But starting small depends. It is dependent on the size of the business idea you want to pursue or to undertake. But amidst all odds, as an entrepreneur, I have, over the time, focused on some of the strategies that can enable the youth out there to overcome some of the presenting challenges. And one, make your plans for the future. Descend from the past. However, building resilience, like I told you, requires you to view your setbacks, understand them, and extract the lessons that you can, that can help you to keep going. A resilient entrepreneur should always focus on continuous self-improvement. Focus on continuous self-improvement. If the people around you are not helping you out to focus or to improve or to challenge you to improve, then you are with the wrong teams. I usually challenge some of my employees who are not yet married. I usually crack jokes that if your girlfriend is not adding value on you, then check them, because they have no value addition. We are in the era of value addition, and value addition does not only happen in the factories or even in the business ideas, but even value addition begins with you. Why would you surround yourself with the people who are not adding value, people who are not challenging you? Aim at continuous self-improvement in terms of skills acquisition. Imagine, we advertise the job for drivers on our website for the last 2 weeks. But all applicants who are coming in for the same job, they don't exhibit a certain level of experience. Even telling someone to learn how to drive, someone who feels that they have been reminded that, oh, I think I have to learn how to drive a car. We advertised for a job of a sales executive, and the condition was that we are looking for a young dynamic lady who can drive. Even those that never had driving permits continued applying for the job. And I was asking myself now, did these people understand the instructions? But out of 367 applications, we only got 2 ladies who knew how to drive. So when we talk about continuous self-improvement, I challenge you to look at yourself as an individual first. Even computer literacy, you employ someone and they don't know how to use the computer. You ask, I can type, but I will learn on the job, please. Give me a chance, I will learn on the job. I promise you, sir, within the next 3-4 months, I will be perfect. Who is ready to focus on their challenges and also the challenges of training the people they are recruiting? Let's polish up. Let's improve ourselves, ladies and gentlemen listening out there. Reading. It is always said that if you want to hide information away from a black man, put it in a book. So as a strategy of continuous self-improvement, we must aim at reading. Let's continue reading. Let's get these inspirational literatures that have been hidden away from us. Let's make very good use of the literature out there to make sure that we improve on ourselves. Remember your mission and vision. Many of us who have business ideas and those businesses that have failed to take shape, over the time, I have realized that many entrepreneurs out there don't focus on their mission and the vision. But in order to remain focused, considering where you are coming from and where you are going, you must have a clear vision, a realistic mission to give you a clear sense of direction. Focus on your purpose as an effective way to deal with the life style challenges. Resilience requires making a shift in the mindset, realizing that setbacks aren't here to stay. Take care of your health. Physical health is always work in progress for me. So much as I'm busy, I find time to work out. It creates positive foundation for your well-being, as well as emotional resilience. Get enough sleep. Stress can always make it difficult to get sleep, and often to experience deep sleep. You must have enough and sound sleep, but don't oversleep. Yes, because you may say that you are challenged to sleep. Yeah? And those of you who are getting married soon, don't oversleep. You must balance. Yeah? You sleep and also multitask at the same time. But also don't forget that even when you are sleeping, you have to dream big and put your ideas into action. Limit the use of caffeine and sugar after lunchtime. Set a curfew for work and screen time. So we've always had a present curfew, as if it is the President Museveni's vocabulary. But you can also set a curfew around yourself. The do's and don'ts. Work out, like I've said, for physical fitness. Choose the right friends to enable you seek support. People with similar values and mindsets can prove to be valuable sources of support. Find critical thinkers. You need to stay away from doomsayers. Surround yourself with positive and realistic people to lift up you when you need it, and be prepared to return the favor when necessary. Some people forget about others. Yes, when they arrive, they say, I arrived. These days I'm busy. Please, I will call you back. I'm in a meeting. Silent mode has become silent mode in the new era. Even when it's not necessary. Even when people are resting, taking a coffee, the mobile phones are in silence. I don't want to be interrupted. It is my time. Yeah? The 5 people you are closest to are crucial to your success. But also think about someone who continuously makes or brings drama with them on a regular basis. Yes. At times we find, I like John. John can make fun. What are you, young lady and gentlemen, picking out of the fun? Is it going to put $1 on the table? Is it going to put a cup of coffee on the table? Ladies and gentlemen, let's get serious. She's always said that the moment you surround yourself with 9 fools, automatically you are the 10th. Yes. So let's try to understand. Let's try to understand ourselves. Let's try to understand others and choose wisely. Starting a business idea as a youth comes with a number of advantages. I usually hear people say, now I need to first work for about, I think, 10 years. I will have generated some capital, and after I think about doing something. Chance always finds a prepared mind. You may be dreaming to start in the next 10 years, and the next day someone snatches your business idea. I've always heard some of my colleagues saying, imagine, I thought about that. And can you imagine? Someone has taken it up. Yes, you were not prepared. And someone who is prepared has taken it. So we need to try out. We need to exploit the opportunities around us as possible. As a youth, I strongly believe at that time, when I was starting out, I had enough energy. I had enough energy. I had enough energy. Starting up at this level, I had enough energy to withstand the smoke. Also for her to withstand MB, that is the common saying. MB. We usually say MB, to call you MB. But yes, so what have you done to make sure that MB is overcome? What have you done? Opportunities are not going to fall from heaven like a manna, the way it's stated in the Bible. But let's dedicate our energies in our youthful age, yes, as say, tomorrow's strong entrepreneurs. As the youth, I strongly believed that at that time I had a lot of energy, and you too, you equally have a lot of energy at this time. You still have an opportunity to be creative enough. You have great time to fall and rise up again. As a youth, you can easily team up with peers to start up something, which is very hard when you have grown up. Usually when people grow up, they marry, they are faced with different challenges. Some people, their greed does not come out at a certain age. But as they grow up, their true character comes up. So dealing with older people is usually difficult. But when you are dealing with fellow peers at that age, it is very, very easy for you to agree on a clear sense of direction. What does starting small require? Starting small and you grow big, like I said. Small pockets, big ideas. There are so many ideas out there, ladies and gentlemen. But we need to tap into the ideas. Look at this beginning. From the other level 3, because like I told you, when you look at the pictures which we shared in the beginning, there was a time. So this one was level 2. The first one was a veranda. This is level 2. Level 3 is here. But at level 3, as a focused entrepreneur, as someone with a clear sense of direction, with a clear mission and vision, at that level, I realized that it did not only seem to be such a kind of a charcoal shade, but I realized that I needed even to focus on the company colors. What is the company identity? At this level, I could imagine that SAMs required to have a green and a pink color, and they were applied on these temporary structures. But see how the business evolves from the temporary structures on my extreme left to the middle picture. That is an evolution. The business is evolving. The business is taking shape. It is now transforming from the other informal appearance, the informal package, to now a formal. Okay, it was not really, okay, too formal, but at least, okay? Something was coming up. Starting small must be supported with the tenacity of dedication, patience, and professionalism. If I'd given up at a time when I was served with an eviction notice, I would not be here today. Focus on your mission and vision. Seek partnerships where necessary to enable you grow your enterprise in terms of capacity building and quality. From a charcoal stove, commonly known as a sigiri. I know most of you have gone through the secondary schools, are familiar with this kind of these cooking stoves. At this level, these cooking stoves you are seeing, to me, it was like the heavens have opened up, because I realized that it was one of the top technologies that we had installed in our makeshift structures to do the precepts. But see where partnerships have led us today. This state-of-the-art precepts plant is the only of its kind in Uganda. I think the second one is in Nairobi. And of late, something is coming up in Rwanda. So you too, with the highest level of resilience, with the highest level of patience, with the highest level of dedication, you can get there. Learn to use your imaginations to foresee possibilities and challenges. Envision the different courses of action. Starting small requires us to be innovative. However, don't forget to keep your edge. Being creative and innovative is very important. Complacent companies fade. You must be able to roll with the punches of the market, consumer demands, and technological developments. Way back, we had a very good brand of camera. They used to call it Kodak. Kodak camera. We had another type of phone, which was always commonly found bought by the government officials, the ministers. That is the BlackBerry. Those days, a BlackBerry was trending. A Kodak camera was trending. But the company owners were not innovative enough to address the needs of the consumers. Technologies kept on evolving, and today such non-compliant companies have faded away from the market. Their products are in history. So there must be continuous improvement in your job. There must be continuous improvement in your service. There must be continuous improvement on your product. The pictures you see here are not pictures that have been picked away just to create a story. This is the reality. The first packaging with the label inside the product itself is here. Yes, I didn't know that it would cause issues over time. And the only way I had to find my way self moving was to package according to the available standards. Yes, I didn't have mentors. So the people around me, that's what they were doing. Those who were in the snacks industry, they were doing that 5-6 years ago. So I also emulated them. That's why I said that if you surround yourself with 9 fools, you become the 10th. So at that time, I became the 10th fool because I was doing what they felt was their best and I was moving at their pace. But there has been an opportunity for me to realize that continuous improvement in a business, in the service, has to be considered. Replace the word failure with the word learning. When you are innovating, we are working on commercialization of the business ideas. You don't do a business for yourself. You are manufacturing a product for your customers. See where Sam's is today. See our full range of the 12 products, of the 20 products. What gives me charisma? What fuels me to always feel that we are on course is what we call competitive advantage. After mechanization, I realized that I could supply our customers on time. And that's what we call competitive advantage. If I can handle, as SAMs, we can handle orders in time. We really feel that it is something we have worked for. If we really feel we have the best range of products, the best snacks on the market, we are rolling out the best quality in the market. That is competitive advantage. We have the best teamwork in our factory, and that is competitive advantage. And above all, there is a visionary entrepreneur, and that is my competitive advantage. Sam's has grown from bicycles to motorcycles, which are branded like this, to box body trucks, and the fleet is still growing. Imagine, from a bicycle distribution mode to the best branded trucks, motorcycles, even the packaging. I really feel immensely happy. However, when we look at resilience, you must take practical steps. You must be focused on some of the skills here below. I want to challenge you, ladies and gentlemen, to listen in critically at this point. Have a very good business name. We hear someone coming up with a business name. Bari Baseka Snacks. Now, if you yourself, you are laughing at your product and you are imagining that because your ancestors loved such names, which are to that one, you are not producing a brand for yourself. This brand has to get on the market and the brand has to be appreciated. Have very good brand names that sound, digital. Yes, like the Sums, the Sums crisps. But you bring names, you baptize business names to your business ideas, and these businesses, even themselves, I believe if they were living things, they would be deeply complaining. Let's formalize our businesses. Register your business name, register your trademark, and register your brand name. There are very many sharp people out there who are looking for work in progress. People want to reap where they did not sow. We have so many of that kind. So grab your business name, grab your brand name, and register it. Secure your business name. We call this intellectual property. We must register our businesses to safeguard them from snatchers. Ensure that you have proper bookkeeping. If you asked me to produce a record of the first sale, I have it. If you asked me to produce the university business plan, which I presented as the coursework, I have it. And believe me, you will not learn bookkeeping when a business has grown. And that is if it has not overgrown you. You know, in most cases, some businesses have to grow their owners due to lack of systems. But you need to prepare for that. You need to prepare, you need to find a strategy that will enable you to keep focused. Have financial discipline. Some entrepreneurs eat their own seed. You know, today, the modes of payment are different. Some customers pay by mobile money, others are paying by check, others are paying by cash. So the moment you really look at my mobile phone and say, oh my God, I have some 1 million shillings. Oh, wow. Waiter, please, Alita, give everybody around us. Oh, yes, yes. There is this saying, look at it, Nachikubie. Yes, Wachikubie, but this time around it is beating you indirectly. So you eat your own capital. You eat your own seed, but remember that pay is not your money. That is the capital for the business. But as a strategy, when I realized that I was equally falling into the same trap, I chose to pay myself a salary. So I'm on the payroll. So whenever I would tell my staff that I'm also a salary earner, they said, no, boss, that can't be possible. Not until they saw it. It inculcated in a discipline in me, because I realized that I needed to give to Caesar what belonged to Caesar. Benchmark. But when we tell some people to benchmark, they instead prefer copy and paste. There's someone who started a similar business line to outcompete us in the market. But this person, when he came on the board, he almost copied the business name. Because the same colors, same label sticker, same font style, same everything. And I was like, look at this fool here. You cannot even think of your own colors. You cannot even think of your own font. Many of you out there, you. I said many in court, not everybody. We have misunderstood benchmarking versus copying. Understand, benchmark to pick the good practices. Some of the entrepreneurs engage in price wars because they have realized that Sam's is doing it this way. Therefore, they also want to do it exactly that way. We need to be innovative. You will copy until when? So try to be original. That's what we call competition versus complementary acting. You need to compete. Some people are competing. You compete, you copy, even where it's not necessary. Have a mentor. Have a business mentor. Get someone that you aim at. I want to be like, let's say, Patrick Bitature. You may not meet Patrick Bitature, Mr. Patrick Bitature easily. You may not meet Dr. Sudhir Paredia easily, but you can keep following up such personalities because you love to learn something that they have done better and how they have done better. Read books that have been written by great entrepreneurs. But some of us feel that even having mentors in the same line of business we are doing, that we are going to compete with them. No. So as long as you copyright, carry out business research. You have so many ideas out there, but you have not researched so thoroughly. We just assume that, oh, precepts. You don't know someone has gotten there and you bump into the business. Carry out a simple market research. Get to know the markups. Get to know the margins. Some of the entrepreneurs, when they get in the market, they just say, okay, since Sam sells his precepts at 800 shillings, okay, which packer is this? 440 grams. At how much? 1,000. Okay, even mine has to be 1,000. Wow. Forgetting the competitive advantage that Sam's has over you as a starter. You must do a research to enable you come up with proper costing of the product. You must understand the nitty-gritty that it takes to have the product on the market. Be compliant with the regulatory authorities. The Uganda National Bureau of Standards, the Uganda Revenue Authority, and the other relevant, NEMA. Okay? You cannot trade today if you are not compliant with the tax payer. You must be tax compliant. You cannot put a product and it builds fame or attracts fame on the market when the product is not certified by the Bureau of Standards. Offer great customer service to your customers. There is a saying that if we don't take care of our customers, someone else will. If you don't take care of your customers, I am coming for them. If you don't take care of your customers, Sam's is coming for them. Because as Sam's Food Industries Limited, we have built the best customer service. We have a customer service desk. We have a customer service manager. Have passion for what you are doing. Some people don't even want to be known to tell others what they are doing. Hey, how will they get to know? Oh, I'm roasting nuts. I'm doing my bhaji and I have my kabalagala in the bag here. So please, when after the lecture, I have some good kabalagala, and they're just whispering it to you. I have some good kabalagala. Please don't forget me. Feel great about what you are doing. Now, if you are running away, if you are shying away from what you are doing, what do you expect your customers to do? They will equally run away. They will not trust your product because you are not speaking with authority over what you are doing. Carry out build a stronger customer relations management system, as well as a strong corporate social responsibility strategy. You must be seen as relevant in your community. Yes, give back at your community. If there is a fundraising and you have reached somewhere, please offer, give out something to the community. Provide jobs to the people around you. Some of you, not me, some of you get your relatives, your great-grandfather's children, your neighbors in the village, and you want them to take up all the jobs without considering the community where you are doing the business from. So the community must see you relevant in terms of causing positive impact. If it involves cleaning the community, clean. If it involves providing jobs, provide. If it involves donating, donate. And that's when you will be seen and owned by the community. Customer retention. Treat all your customers as equal. If I asked the youth out there who are in business, how many of you remember your first customer? Knowing your first customer and retaining them will help you to build your customer base, to build a greater customer base. I still have my first customer, and I still supply them. Even I can afford to park a V8 Land Cruiser, and I say hello to them. But we forget about the customers and they run away from us. So we must recruit customers, and we must make sure that you retain the customers. That's when you will be able to build the customer base with the proper and clear testimonials said about your business. And when such customers grow with you, once they have seen you from scratch to someone, they will give you respect. They will never leave you alone. Digital marketing. Now that we are in a new normal, COVID is here and we don't know when it will go. We need to digitalize our businesses. We need to make sure that we market using the digital platforms. I want to ask you, ladies and gentlemen, out there to like our Facebook page. Actually, I'd love to get to the very last slide. Our Facebook page. Our Facebook page is Sam's Food Industries Limited. Sam's Food Industries Limited. Like our Facebook page. I'm not asking for money out of you, ladies and gentlemen. I am asking you to like our social media pages. Visit our social media pages. We have a website. Sorry for the technological error here. We have a website, www.samsfoodindustries.com. Visit our Facebook page, visit our website. The story is there. Try to like our Twitter. We have the Twitter handle. Twitter page, So Sam's. I hope you have seen our social media pages. Now, as I summarize, just a few slides to end. Treat your relatives and in-laws in business as staff, not business or business partners. Don't say that this because this one is my son, this one is my mulamu, this one is my brother. No, business is a business. you must make sure that they look at you as a business partner. Otherwise, you will cause trouble when your employees start developing a feeling that you are favoring your relatives. Let the ground be leveled. Respect and motivate your staff. Learn to listen to them as the only way of building strong industrial relations. Some of the staff complaints may be very small, but you may take them for granted. But with the time, they can culminate into bigger challenges. However, you must understand one thing, and that is knowing when to quit. Entrepreneurs are made. Another scholar stated that entrepreneurs are born. But we are not all meant to be entrepreneurs. No. We may try out, but we may not all be by nature or by default. It may seem a paradox, but sometimes resilience means knowing when to pack your things and fold. We become irrationally attached to our efforts. I have invested a lot of my time. I have invested a lot of capital. At times, it is necessary to admit that you are on the wrong path. Yes, so that you can take the lessons learned to the next endeavor. Okay? Know when to quit and put a hold on the business idea that you are pursuing. You may not necessarily quit fully, but you can put it on a hold. Never give up is a bad advice. Never give up. You know, we used to write such in our classrooms. Never forget, never give up. But according to one author, Adam Grant, sometimes quitting is a virtue. Yes. It doesn't mean that keep doing the same things which are failing. No. If you're failing, you're not meant to be made, it's not your opportunity. It means define your dreams boldly enough that you can find new ways to pursue them when your first and second plans fail. In conclusion, I have some interesting quotes that sometimes you got to put your qualifications aside and hustle. Like a dropout. Pride won't pay your bills. It won't. Just set serious goals, but after setting them, you must hunt them. The greatest prison people live in is the fear of what other people think. What will they say? What will they think? What will social rejection? Make friends who force you to level up. I thank you so much for listening in. And I ask you to do me a favor. Either like all these pages of us, of our social media platforms, or send us requests, or go out there, buy only one pack of Sums crisps. We have what we call the 5 lips smacklingly good flavors, the best flavors on the market, the trending flavors on the market of crisps. Buy one product and it will be a great gift to me and to the entire Sums fraternity. I thank you so much for listening.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, our beloved presenter. I think our students have really learned a lot from your presentation. we have over 1,000 students have been listening to you, and I'm sure your last appeal of them liking SAMS or buying your product is going to be nothing to them because of the wisdom that they've gotten from you. Actually, we are going to do a challenge that if you are a student who has listened to this talk, to his presentation, buy a SAMS, take a clip, take a picture, post it on WhatsApp, and say, SAMS from Makere, and then we shall reward you as SAMS. Thank you very much. That will be something that we can give back to SAMS for the wonderful knowledge that he has given to us.
They come with a pack.
No, I'm sure on tomorrow and Wednesday, they are going to do a lot. Yes. They are going to do a lot of buying of SAMS because we shall have a stall of SAMS products. And if you have more questions, that's some of them will be answered there. Thank you, Mr. Ngabilano, for all the wonderful presentations and the insights. You've talked to us about the youth challenges. We always have the government to Yambe issue. We have heard that we can start from as little as 40,000 shillings. We have a group and group students who are working in groups of all companies, and their minimum is 20,000, depending on the business idea that they are coming up with. So we hope that they can be able to learn that you can make a very big, successful company from what SAMS has given to us today. You've talked about starting small. This is where we are at this moment. And also, allow me to invite you to our expo tomorrow and Wednesday. You'll be able to appreciate where our students and company managers will be coming from. You've taken us through how to overcome challenges. These are some of the issues that we are so much, in most cases, limited. We can't think outside the box. We always look for the negative rather than the positive when we have a challenge. You've encouraged us to be very innovative. You've showed us how SAM started, starting from a very simple Kavera up to where we are today with the very wonderful packaging. We are international. Actually, when you find SAM's products now on the shelves, international shelves, you might want to look at where they are being produced from. It is in Uganda, and it is NAS, and actually not even in Nigeria. Then you talked about the mission and vision. Always be committed to whatever you start up to do as an entrepreneur. This is the way to go. Then, of course, the practical entrepreneurial skills. I remember when you shared with me when I came to your office about how some people, I think even today, some people might want to start a business, but they don't want to show, they don't want to keep books of account. We have heard what has been happening around downtown, where you are given about 2 to 3 receipts. One receipt shows this, another one this, another one this, just for tax purposes. But we now believe that by the time that SAMS comes out to share with us where they've come from, the proper books are being kept. You are with UNBS, we can look at the boxes, and we know that you have gone through the development stages of an entrepreneur. So we'd like to thank you for that. I have about 2 questions for you, Mr. Ngabirano. One, you talked to us about, I have 3 questions. One is for 2 for Dr. Ngabirano, Mr. Ngabirano, and then 1 for Dr. Catherine Bide. So you will just unmute when. Mr. Ngabirano, as part of your profession as a teacher, do you miss teaching, or you are now into entrepreneurship? The second question is, can you talk to us about partnership? As you started your business, is there anything to do with partnership? Hey, the questions have come up, they are many actually. Another question is, maybe I should read them to you and then I'll share this with you. How did you get to tap into the market to enable you grow at this pace? The other question is, if you are to innovate now, what would you innovate? And what factors would consider? I hope our students are not getting ideas for the expo. Yes. How do you rank your success in percentages, and what would the youth learn from you? I think this has been answered. There's a lot that the youth can learn from you. Why did you choose that company brand name? What motivated you to brand those colors? How can one register? I think this one can be answered in class. What was your business? What has your business added to entrepreneurship? I think this one also has been answered. So maybe you can answer those few, Mr. Dennis, and then we shall have the last few questions for Dr. Kathy. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. To begin with the first question, that do I miss teaching? I must say, I don't miss teaching because I find myself continuously teaching others. Even where we are, I'm already teaching. I feel I'm an entrepreneurship lecturer. Yes, because I have won a number of awards in the perspective of entrepreneurship. So I really feel that I'm at another level of teaching, not the other primary classroom teaching. So the level of teaching is there. I don't miss teaching because I am always teaching every day. And I'm now teaching. And actually, one funny, I usually tell applicants that once you apply for a job at SAMS, I'm always interested in seeing people's handwriting. Is always part of me. How do I get to tap into the market? Most of the customers that we have been able to bring on board, they have been able to bring them on board either through referrals, because customer X has tested the product and they have found it very, very tasty. They have found it very, very good. So they recommend it to their colleagues. Say that, please, once you go shopping, don't forget those 5 lip smackling good flavors of SAMS. So those are referrals. Then we are also doing direct sales. We have trucks that usually move around in the field to look for new leads. Okay. So we have also a social media marketing, which has enabled us to clearly communicate, improve on our visibility in the market. We have billboards. We have of late started launching, running radio and TV advertisements. Why SUMS and not SAMS? Initially, the business name was SAMS Confectionery and Bakery. But considering that we had reviewed the business plan and focused on growing a business with a big and broad vision, we realized that confectionery and bakery, bakers do bread, mandazi, so we chose to review the name and to make sure that it matches with the vision. And because our vision is to become the market leaders in foods and confectionery in East Africa and beyond, we must live it. We must work for it. Otherwise, it cannot just come automatically. So we changed the name from SAMS Confectionery and Bakery to SAMS Food Industries Limited. But along the way, we realized that we needed to introduce a brand name. But introducing a brand name, again, we were advised that a brand name would confuse customers who are already on board. But I wanted to emulate big companies like Coca-Cola. The company name is Central Bottling Company and the trademark is Coca-Cola. Harris International, the brand name is Reham. So I chose to take the same strategy of introducing a brand name, but I didn't want to go far away in terms of pronunciation from SAMS to something else. So I chose to bring a brand name which is close in terms of pronunciation, much as some of our customers pronounce it as Sams, but it is Sums. Sams as a brand name, the original, used to started causing a conflict of interest in the market. Someone would call and say, hey, Sams, oh, these people seems to be they are very staunch Christian. And someone says, another one who calls after 2-3 minutes, praise God. And it was like, hey, you mean it is getting this far? Much as we love to be religious, and indeed we are, we must try to draw clear lines between the business name and then playing around with this religious name. So we chose to bring on board a name that would reunite all Christians, non-Christians, the pagans, the Muslims, and the like. So we wanted a name that would be embraced by all consumers. I was challenged when I entered in one supermarket of an Indian and said, are you Sams or you are Pasrams? You know, even the pronunciation was a little tricky. Are you Pasrams or you are Pasams? Hey, so you are Moroccan. And when someone asked me, so you are Moroccan? I said, no, I'm not a Moroccan, but I'm a Christian. So, okay, since you are not a Moroccan, I'm going to give you a discount. That really never left me the same. I straight away revamped the idea of introducing a brand name, and that's how Sums came in line. If I was to innovate, what would I innovate? Wow, I'm still researching. Oh, I'm still looking for an innovation close to Pringles. I think if I died today before making or innovating something close to Pringles, I would not rest in peace. So that is one of the things that I would really feel I need to tap into. Partnerships are very important, but partnerships have to be built. You cannot partner, there's nobody who will be attracted to partner with you when you are not bankable. You just see structures, you see people moving, you see a business, but the business must have systems that will attract partners. For a banker to become your partner, you must be having a proper book and a clear financial management system so that your records can back you up to partner with a bank so that you can be able to solicit resources. Otherwise, there is no way business partners will just come for fun. They come as business partners, but there must be a win-win situation in business. So ladies and gentlemen out there, if you want to build stronger partnerships, make sure you work on your organizational skills, you work on your internal strategies, have a clear business plan like we said, and some of these systems will automatically be implemented with the time. There was something which I need to be reminded about to business entrepreneurs.
What you have added.
Yes, what I've added, I am sharing knowledge. I think I've shared the whole business and all the skills. I don't know if Dr. Bimbona has prepared a check for me, but we've never discussed. But such a presentation, international speakers or entrepreneurs like me would be charging in USD. So, so I am here to be and find.
Yes.
To make sure that as an entrepreneur who has gone through such a journey, I share skills without exhibiting any level of selfishness. You know, some entrepreneurs out there are very selfish, and sharing, usually say that sharing is good. That's what kids say. But sharing seems not to be good amongst adults. So,
thank you very much.
That's a simple one. What is your target market and what informed you about that target market? Because, for example, heard about weeks ago. That informed me that I'm not one of
the thank you. Thank you, Doctor. Our target market is really an all-inclusive market. We are looking at the high-end consumers like you. We are looking at the low-end consumers, someone who has Kaduka or the small retail shop. And that's why when you look at our mode of distribution, we have vans that go in the corporate market. So we have our products in the canteens. Here at the university, you will find our products in the canteen. You will find our products in the school canteens. You will find our products in the corporate world, in the banks. We are partnering with the welfare departments in different banks and the organizations to make sure that our products are always considered on their breakfast. We are distributing in the supermarkets. So the low end, the high end is all catered for. That's why even in our distribution, we have bicycles. We still have the bicycles. We didn't throw away the bicycles. So the bicycles are going in the duka to supply the low-end consumers, because our vision in the distribution line, we want to see that Assam's in the arm's reach. So when you say, may I have Assam's crisp? It should be within your arm's reach. So if it's not yet in your arm's reach, my sales and marketing department is going to be under fire this afternoon. So because they are really.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, our presenter. Yes, we've done exceedingly well on this presentation. And we thank you for answering all the questions that have been posed to you. I would like now to ask Dr. Kathy. This question comes to you. Sorry, we have a few minutes to wrap up, Mr. Dean. Dr. Kathy, as an experienced entrepreneur, as an experienced lecturer in entrepreneurial business, what advice can you give to the youth with great business ideas, with limited capital, but with enough resilience and persistence? Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sarah. Yeah, it's quite important that if you have an entrepreneurial kind of mindset, and I think having the mindset is enough capital for you. My advice would be, if you don't have the financial resources, it is to first of all be part of an incubation center, so that your business idea is modeled, or you can identify a mentor, what actually our presenter has mentioned about, so that you develop your product over a given period of time. In the university, we have the Food and Technology Business Incubation Center. We have CURAD. There is the Uganda Industrial Research Institute, where your product or your idea can be mentored, or it can be allowed to evolve over a period of time, so that you can go ahead and invest at a later time and also be able to network. I would also advise the young people to attend such conferences, so that you can find the right networks that can give you the financial support that you need to push on your idea or to develop your idea, so that it can be turned into a sustainable business or enterprise. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kathy. I hope all your questions have been answered, dear students. We are now at the wrap-up of the conference or the webinar. However, before I invite our dear Dean, I would like to invite Mr. Robert Wamala, Professor Robert Wamala, to come and give for 2 minutes, just tell us about that intellectual property issue that our students have to keep in mind as they share their business ideas. Thank you, Professor Robert.
Thank you very much, organizers. That is the Department of Marketing,
You are not
Thank you very
audible
much.
enough, sir.
Hello, can you hear me? Can
We
you
can
hear
hear
me?
you, but the audio is not very good. We can't hear you.
Okay, let me just try to increase my voice. Am I audible? Am I audible enough now?
Still not enough.
Wow, I am shouting my lungs out. I don't know what the issue could be. But I will thank you very much to the Department of Marketing for organizing this, of course, the School of Business and the College of Business and Management Sciences. And of course, many thanks to Mr. Dennis Ngavirano for the excellent #1 talk about entrepreneurship. For sure, I was. I did learn a lot from being an entrepreneur, and I did learn a lot from being resilient. And do thank you for sparing off some time to come and educate our students about how to begin up businesses and how to basically flourish in the business. Now, what the department is doing actually is what the university should be doing in its 3 roles. #1 is the teaching, which is being done, the research, and then lastly, the community service, which we usually do. I am really, really quite so excited about what has been done right now. That is taking the classwork. I mean, just outside the classroom, but then bring it to practical aspects which do affect and equip us with the relevant knowledge. Now, Mr. Ngavirano did talk about, of course, already issues of registration, which are really quite vital. And I would just like to re-echo these particular aspects. It is very important for you to come up with ideas about your business name, ideas about your brand names. But the questionable aspect becomes, do we go ahead to have those brand names registered? Do we go ahead to register those trademarks? I mean, as legal names that we can use for our businesses. It becomes very, very deeply embarrassing for you to use a brand name and then 1 week or 2 weeks or 1 year down the road, you are told that, by the way, this brand name, you can no longer use it because someone else out there has gone ahead to use that particular name. And so, like Mr. Ngavirano did tell you earlier on, it is very important that you register those trademarks, the names, like if you say a name like Sons, it is important that name is registered so that you have legal rights in using that particular name. Now, please feel free to check in with us. That is the Directorate of Research and Quality Training about how do we register, how do we get supported to go to Uganda Registrations Services Bureau to be able to register those brand names we're using. But #2, it is not just a brand name. It could be a new way of doing things. It could be a new way of doing things, which would form basis for a patent or a utility model. And so there are several rights, which I may call intellectual property rights, that you may actually be able to get to allow you to, #1, do business, but also protect your interest as a person. I am sure no one can come up and then begin to use Sons, or no one can come up and then begin to use the same colors, or no one can come up and begin to use the same packing, the same labeling. Sons would, of course, sue them and get legal redress for their names and aspects. So it is very important that students, as you come up with your ideas, please make sure that those ideas are registered. Then lastly, like Mr. Ngavirano did indicate, you cannot flourish alone. You cannot do a business alone. You need partnerships. You need people who have been there out in the business, who have been able to carry out these particular things to support you along the way. So please Make sure that you discuss your ideas with your lecturers, students, discuss your ideas so that you're able to get the right partnerships and the right people to push you as you promote your business ideas. Now, lastly, as I wind up, please, students, discuss your ideas with the supervisors, discuss those innovations. Don't forget to get support in registering your ideas so that you are protected in case of any infringement of those rights. Now, once again, I do thank Mr. Ngabirano for spending off some time to educate our students, to educate Makerere, to educate us, but also give thanks to the Department of Marketing, the school, and the college for coming up with this innovative way of learning and doing things. I look forward to interacting with you during the expo tomorrow and Wednesday. Over to you, organizers. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor. Thank you for giving us those wonderful remarks regarding how we can protect our business ideas. You came in just at the right time. We need you, and we expect you tomorrow and on Wednesday to come and be with us. Help us identify those business ideas for students that they can be able to get a patent, they can be able to get a license, and give us more knowledge on how our students can benefit more from the business ideas, because I'm telling you, some of the business ideas that they've come up with this time, they are life-changing. So please, you are welcome tomorrow at the Rugby Grounds from 8 to 5 p.m. Professor.
I look forward to being there. Thank you very much. I look forward.
Okay, allow me to take this opportunity now to invite our beloved Dean to come and give us a wrap-up of the close the whole webinar, and also thank our presenters, and maybe invite also the main presenter to the expo on next Tuesday and Wednesday. Thank you, Dean.
Thank you, Sarah, and thank you the entire entrepreneurship team, and thank you Head of Department, Marketing and Management, Dr. Turiachira. Thank you our students who are online and all other participants. I know there are some staff online, staff of Makerere University online, and thank you very much. It's okay. It's not so much. It's okay. Thank you, Sarah, for giving me this opportunity to say a few words. My words are really words of gratitude. I first want to express my heartfelt gratitude to Mr. Ngabirano for sparing his time to engage our students and engage the university-wide community. Personally, I've learned a lot from you and learned a lot of you from your experience, how you started and where you are now, and what your future is. And this is great. This is what this country requires. We as a university are simply a driver, a participant in entrepreneurship. And our work is to engage the community, engage our students, because this is the way to go. Our country now needs many entrepreneurs than before. And we pray that when we invite you, Mr. Ngabirano, next time to come and engage the students in other ways, please, we hope you'll find time to be with us. I'm also asking you now to remain around for tomorrow and for Wednesday so that you can actually see these students showcasing some of their business ideas and innovations, and maybe participate directly in motivating them. I want to express my heartfelt gratitude to the entrepreneurship team led by the director, Dr. Kathy Mbide, plus her team, Dr. Sarah, Bimbona, Kasim, Nalongo, Anifa, and the others who are not here. Thank you very, very much. As you know, entrepreneurship is our flagship activity as a school. And what you're doing is really fulfilling that huge mandate that the university has given us. There's no better way of expressing our gratitude to you, but simply to say, may God bless you. I also want to express our gratitude to my colleague, my senior colleague, the head of department, who has stood in the way to make sure that these activities are a success. Dr. Peter Turiachira, we are really grateful, and we thank you very much for putting in all your leadership has been exceptional, and may God bless you abundantly. And to our students who are listening in, who are tomorrow going to participate in the expo, you have learned from Mr. Ngabirano. One of the things that struck me from his conversation, among very many excellent things, was talking about opportunity and striking and taking advantage of the opportunity when it is still hot. Otherwise, somebody will take it away from you. So please, as you are thinking of your business ideas, look at it from the opportunity side. Let it be opportunity driven and responding to solving a problem in society, and then you will be succeeding. There's just one little thing I also want to make a comment on, and that is the world is now competitive world. It's a very competitive world now, and the world is merciless to those who are not ready. And therefore, you as young people should be ready for the future. And I want to share with you just a little framework of what we call the future ready talent, which has just one or two dimensions. The first dimension is expertise. The expertise helps you to expand your idea, either it is a business, or whether it is a job, whether it is anything. So you must develop your expertise. And that's why you are at college. That's why you are our students, because you are trying to develop your expertise through skilling yourself through generation of knowledge. The second thing that I would like to talk about, a part of it, is yourself. You must develop yourself. And this is looking at both the hard and soft skills, which Mr. Ngabirono actually emphasized on. You must develop yourself in terms of customer care, in terms of courtesy, in terms of thinking outside the box, in terms of learning and relearning, taking risks, becoming technological savvy. I see most of you around with very beautiful, nice phones, but I think you spend only on two applications, and that is Facebook and probably the other social media sites in your phone. But use your phone as a business tool for marketing yourself, for developing yourself, and learning very many skills around it, including adapting to changes in the world and rethinking how your CV in the future should be, because nobody is going to build yourself except you. You should also learn to use huge data, because that's where we are going. The world is growing so fast, and the world of data management is becoming the center, and therefore learning how to manage huge data is becoming critical. But just one little comment in building yourself: love what you do, and love it and love it and love it and love it and love it. If you don't love it, then don't try. If you don't love working with the cattle, being in the kraal with cow dung and stepping on cow dung, cleaning up cows and milking cows, you have no business in the dairy industry. Just like you may not have any business in the poultry industry as well. But if you love other things like services, you like making cookies for yourself, then that's what you should try. So please develop yourself. The other area which our colleagues talked about, which I also just want to emphasize, is the issue of building relationships, social networks. That is critical. You must build relationships in the university. If I could remember, most of the things that happen in the world now are some of the relationships which many people built when they were still young. either at secondary school or in the university. Our main speaker today talked of if you're in a company of 9 fools, then you automatically the 10th what? Fool. So therefore, he actually told you that you should build positive relationships, those relationships that take you forward, those relationships that will give you an opportunity to add $1 to your wallet and take that forward. Then, of course, the last issue that I want to mention is the issue of solutions, solving problems and developing solutions and designing solutions that can take you forward. Some of the solutions could be behind you. Some of the solutions could be ahead of you. Some of the solutions could be just by your side. Some of those solutions may want you to redesign yourself, change what you do, can even be able to tell you to go back to school. He talked about being a driver. Yes, it's one thing being a driver, but also being a very good driver. And maybe just getting a driving permit could actually change, create for you a difference between you and other things. Now, once you have all what I've said, plus what our main speaker said, then you are ready for the future. You are ready to hammer yourself and move forward. My colleagues, you should know one small thing. The opportunities out there in terms of our job market are many, but the competition is also quite high. And therefore, those who are ready will likely going to be competitive in the job market. But very importantly, assuming, like I said, that our country needs more entrepreneurs, assuming some of you partnered and came up with a very innovative idea that the market is ready to take up, and you find a solution to a problem, and then you grow your business, you will be future employers and you will not be looking for jobs. There are many people who have left school and gone straight to entrepreneurship. One of them is said of Bill Gates. Even the guys behind Facebook that we all enjoy are said to have left a business school and straight away innovated on that idea of Facebook, and you can see how it is a multi-billion-dollar company. With those so many words, I want now to turn my attention to thank my colleagues in the School of Business for supporting our colleagues in the Entrepreneurship Center in the Department of Marketing. I also want to thank the college leadership, Professor Isali and the team, the college academic board, the college administrative board for all the financial support and all the other support they have given us. I also want to thank the university management and colleagues across the university who are listening in, who are participating. We thank the Vice Chancellor, the Deputy Vice Chancellors, and the rest of the senior management team for always supporting us at the School of Business. The School of Business is ready to engage. The School of Business is ready to engage the world of business, and we shall start small, and we are starting small, but in the future, we think we shall be bigger. For that matter, I would like to invite you for two things, very importantly, the entire university community. One would like to invite you for the expo tomorrow at the rugby grounds, tomorrow and Wednesday. Our students have showcased before very beautiful innovations, and we're sure even this year is no difference. It might even be much better given that we have gone through a pandemic. Please, colleagues from the wider university community, come along to the rugby grounds tomorrow and participate in the expo. We also want to invite you to our Entrepreneurship Center. We are there to mentor, we are there to coach, and we are there to support all innovations that you, whoever has a good innovation and entrepreneurship innovation, should come forward and contact our colleagues so that we can coach and mentor and nurture your innovation into a big business idea and to a big business process. Remember one thing as I part, today's big company or today's big business was yesterday's small business and was yesterday's business prototype or a business idea. So anything you start small, for as long as you're positive, will grow into a big thing. Once more, I want to thank my colleagues who have put this together, and thank Sarah, who has been our MC for the day. You know, MCs are never thanked, I should tell you. And we forget after we've eaten and drunk, then we only comment. I think she was the best MC, but today I should say she has been an excellent MC in the morning, and she's very joyful. She's very fresh Monday. I'm sure she's ready to run throughout the process. Asanteni sana, Mungu abariki. Now being reminded to close this webinar officially. So I say, may God bless you, and let's meet tomorrow in the rugby clubs. The webinar is now closed. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This is only for our students. Housekeeping for tomorrow, for the expo. What you need to know, students. One, this afternoon, the tents will be at the rugby ground. The class leaders are expected to go there and identify tents for their respective classes. As companies, please make sure that you get some time, pass by and see if you are, and identify for yourself a spot on the table so that by the time you come in tomorrow, you know where to go. Make sure you come with a tablecloth. In most cases, you need it to make sure that your expo area is very presentable. Then make sure that your products are properly packaged and the presenters or the company members are all smart and representable and are able or are ready to answer all the questions that the facilitators or the evaluators will put forward. Each company is going to be expected to submit 2 hard copies of the company profile. That includes your names, all the members, the program, and the business name and business ideas. Yeah, so you talk about your product, your business idea, your program, your company members, and actually if you can include their roles, each member's role in the company. Also include your phone number and email on the copy that you'll hand in. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the day and enjoy the expo. Go out and win. We are looking forward to seeing all of you tomorrow and on Wednesday. The awards are there waiting for you, by the way. It's a competition. You will enjoy. Bye.